Greg and Emily, coming to you. We were meeting this last week talking about your wedding. You're getting married in 2020, no less. So Ben's been married for 30 years. You're trying to just get started on year one. And a lot of people have been in that boat. And what do you got there? Nice heart. Yeah.
That's my graphics.
Yeah, way to go. I guess just talk to us about that. What's that process been like? What have you learned, and how have you had to remain flexible in a year when you're trying to get a relationship going and get a marriage going?
Yeah, sure, Luke. So something that you probably hear a lot, whether through secular wisdom or if you're two followers of Jesus, getting ready to go into that next phase of marriage is it's not about the wedding. It's like a constant drumbeat. It's a mantra that you hear over and over. It's not about the wedding. It's not about the wedding. It's not about the wedding. Well, guess what? That's a phrase that's simple in theory, but a lot more difficult in practice.
But that's kind of hard to hear as a bride. And I can say it personally, just from my experience, but also walking with my sister this year as she got married, and a couple of my friends who have had to plan COVID weddings, have weddings on Zoom, all kinds of craziness. I realized that in all of this, my perspective has had to shift several times because the culture is very clearly trying to tell me that this is the biggest thing of your life. This is the biggest day of your life. And it's a great day, and it's going to be a wonderful day, and it's a wonderful gift. But I realized after a while, okay, this is just a gift. This day is a gift, just like this marriage is a gift, just like a good friendship is a gift, just like any milestone or celebration is a gift. But it's been really hard, even in a year where to realize that in the year where all those gifts seem to be just being pulled away or just crumbling. And the perspective there I've had to realize is just you know what, these gifts come from somewhere, and they're actually coming from God, and He is good. And He's the giver of good gifts. He wants us to be blessed. He wants us to have this wonderful day to celebrate. He wants us to have this marriage that can reflect Him. He wants us to experience all of these good things as a way to be connecting with Him and experiencing Him more fully. And even while all of that has been shifting sand underneath of us, and all the planning's been crazy, and a lot of things have not gone as expected this year, wedding and otherwise, I've realized okay, the giver of those gifts has not changed. If all these things are given for us to know Him better and to see Him better reflect and reflected to us and understand Him and to experience His love, I can still experience all of those things even without this gift, even without this wedding day being exactly how I imagined it in my head, and with these other things that COVID has really kind of taken away from us.
So yeah, it's not about the wedding, and God's nature and His goodness is unchangeable. So what do we do in light of that? What are some things that we can do? Here's three things that we have learned in this season
and are still learning.
You've never mastered this season because it comes around once in a lifetime. So the first thing is it's okay to feel. It's okay to feel. These are stressful circumstances. These are difficult times. It's okay to be vulnerable and very real with God and express those emotions. And really in that, you have an opportunity for personal growth, but not only that, you have an opportunity to strengthen your relationship with God in ways that you couldn't even imagine. Second thing is, while you're in those difficult circumstances, sit in it and be still. Don't rush to make a decision or to come to a conclusion just because the situation is trying to shift you with it. Stay grounded and rooted in what the Spirit is doing in the situation right now. Isn't that right, Emily?
Yeah, and there's a piece of that where there's a little phrase that we've kind of adopted for this season, and Greg even more so than me, because he's been working a lot of crazy hours in these last few months, and sometimes it just feels like insanity. And the phrase
Absolutely.
is, instead of being God, why is this happening? Or why do we have to do this? Why are we going through this? Shifting it to, God, what are you doing in this? It's God, what are the ways that you're trying to grow me in this? What are the ways you're trying to work in this? And that's been a phrase that we had to come back to consistently, to really just kind of still ourselves and realize okay, God is still working. God is still God. It's gonna be okay.
So it's okay to feel, sit in it and be still. And finally, if it's not about the wedding, step into that reality. You've been afforded the time and the opportunity to actually live out the fact that it's not about the wedding. So start strengthening your relationship in order to point it towards God and use it to honor Him. Don't waste the waiting.
Yeah, it really boils down to that phrase, like, don't waste the waiting. Sometimes I just want to like go sulk in the corner for like 5 months until my wedding day, where I'll emerge all happy and like ready to begin my life. And then it's like, wait a second, that's like, God has so much work that He wants to do in me and through me right here, right now. And if I'm just sulking, I'm going to miss it. I'm going to miss the opportunity that He has for me to impact someone else's life, or miss the opportunity for me to grow in knowing Him better, and just really realizing like, all right, don't waste this time. This is precious time, and God has a plan for it and a purpose for it, and He's working in it.